Welcome to WagerTalk TV. Guys, I'm Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, joined by Gianni the Greek at Greek_Gambler. Make sure you guys are giving him a follow because he's the absolute man in UFC. You guys have to kind of give me a little bit of leeway here because UFC is something I'm just really dipping my toes into. I did follow some of your bets last weekend, so thank you for those, except I went against you on Lawler because my girlfriend does the UFC as well, and she's like, you know, I really love Lawler, and you know me, I love that.
He had that
money.
fight. Honestly, I thought the ref was going to stop it. I really did. I didn't straight bet Askren. I had Askren on a parlay.
Okay.
I didn't straight bet him because I was afraid of that, to be honest with you. I was. So it wasn't a bad bet by any stretch, your Lawler.
Needless to say, it left a bad taste in my mouth with the UFC. All right, so UFC Fight Night 146 is coming up on March 9th. Give me a little preview of what you're looking at there, and then I'll get your best bet at the end of the video.
Perfect. The one thing I wanted to talk about real quickly when it comes to betting MMA, because I'm really now seeing that community now that I'm doing stuff with the UFC and seeing, you know, writers and Twitter and social media and other handicappers. The one thing you don't see enough of in handicapping mixed martial arts is everyone handicaps the matchup. Very few ever handicap the betting line. And at the end of the day, the betting line's all that matters. And what I mean by that is when you talk to mixed martial art fans and even bettors, they say, I like fighter A over fighter B. This is why. I like his ground game, his striking. He's too big. All the reasons why fighter A is better than fighter B.
So just
and they like him and if they like him, they look up, he's minus 200. No problem. They go to the sports book. They look up, he's minus 300. They're still going to bet him because they like the handicap of fighter A beating fighter B. And you'll go broke doing that.
So just like any other sport that we bet, we're not betting the names of these two guys. We're betting the line. So it's just like with football and basketball.
Exactly.
I'm like, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm not bashing your specific team. I'm bashing the line against your specific team.
And you don't understand. I have to explain that when I do the show now that I do with the UFC because I'm sitting across of a world champion fighter. So I have to handicap these fighters. And my explanation to them is, yous are the elite. Yous are the best fighters on the planet. We know the same way I know Google, Yahoo, Amazon are the best tech companies on the planet. But at what price do you want to buy them? Am I going to pay $4,000 for Amazon? No. I'm not going to pay $4,000 a share for Amazon. It's still a great company, but I'm not going to pay $4,000 a share for it. That's how you have to look at when you handicap a matchup. And I don't think it's done enough in mixed martial arts. Whenever anyone breaks down a fight on video, it's always the handicap of the fight, never the betting line.
You're absolutely right, though, because now that you say that, I look at it and I knew Lawler looked too good to be true. I'm like, how am I getting over 2-1 with this guy who I think is going to win this fight? And now I'm seeing, and I broke that rule.
I'm telling you, that is the biggest rule. And it was the first time I went and moved steam, the very first group I worked for, I swear, Kelly, true story. First day I walked in and started working, the guy that was running the room, he goes to me, I'm going to tell you one thing, and don't ever forget this. We don't bet teams, we bet numbers. You're here to bet numbers. Like, they didn't want to hear what you like, or they didn't want to hear anything. When they called out a game at that number, you get that number or don't talk to me. I don't want to hear your opinion on this game.
That's
great. Can you get me that number?
Yeah? All right, awesome. Okay, let's go
couple good bets. Like. And the one thing is, you know, everybody wants those underdogs, and there's some great underdogs that offer value, but long term, 65% of the time, favorites win in the UFC.
Okay.
Over the course of a year, long term, 35% of the time, a dog will win. Don't be afraid to lay some chalk, exactly. And there's a couple favorites I like in this upcoming card. Number one, Tim Means, minus 185. I bet him. He's minus 200. I bet him all the way up to minus 250. He lands too many shots for this opponent, and Niko Price just doesn't have defense in striking, 29% as far as his offensive striking. So even the matchup doesn't make handicap isn't in his favor. Give me Tim Means minus the 185, 200. Anthony Rocco Martin, same thing, minus 180. to -200 range. Him, I'd lay up at 300 against Sérgio Moraes. Huge advantages. The reason you're only paying this price is because the name, Sérgio Moraes, and that's also why, and I usually don't bet heavyweights because it's too much randomness in the outcome, but Blagoy Ivanov, -125 over Ben Rothwell. Easy money. He should be about a -170, 75 favorite. Rothwell has the name. So I like that 3-team small and medium and bigger sized favorites. The one dog I like on the card, Tim Boetsch, I bet him around -140, 150 range. He's now around +110, 115. I think the value's gone. I think his best fights are behind him. But you may want to throw him in there just for a little extra value on the parlay.
All right, who's your best bet?
Tim Means. Tim Means.
Tim Means. All right, $2.50 max on that guy. Good stuff from VR. Make sure you guys are giving him a follow. We've seen him on Fox recently. Now he's hanging out at the UFC. Big stuff from him at Greek_Gambler.